And we are recording. Guess what, folks? It's Sunday. Yes, that king is. Time for a bit of what's up. So, another reminder. Another reminder. The ECig Click Awards. Mentioned this last week, but not everyone watches the What's Up every single week. So the ECig Click Awards polls have opened up. I think they're closing on Sunday morning next week. I think they run to the 10th. I'm not sure if they run to the 10th or not. But yeah, link to ECig Click is down there. There is a whole load of UK-based companies who are in the running for various awards. Again, as I said last week, get a cup of tea or a coffee, depending on what you drink, and a couple of chocolate biscuits, because you're going to be there for about 15 to 20 minutes, basically voting for every single category. There's a lot of categories, there usually is, to be honest, but there does seem to be more categories this year for the ECig Click Awards compared to the previous couple of years. And yeah, Vaping with Vic is in the YouTube and live show section as well. So if you feel like it, pop in a vote for me. Thank you very much. So we are in December, the month of the Christmas festivities. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what's going to be happening on the channel for this month. There will be a best of, and the cut-off point, as always, is going to be roughly around December 15th. It's roughly going to be December 15th. The best of this year, like the previous couple of years, is going to be a bit of a struggle, because again, there's been just a wash of podcasts and AIOs. There has been a spattering of rebuildable tanks. There's not been many drippers this year, from what I can remember anyway, but I'm going to be going back through all of the videos that have been done since December 15th of last year to December 15th of this year and pick them out. I'm not going to be running through the whole top 3 thing, because I don't even think there's going to be enough to actually warrant a top 3 for the RTAs. Now again, I haven't reviewed everything that's been released. It all depends on what company sends what out for review, basically. But there is going to be a best of roughly at the end of this year. Again, it's going to be a difficult one though. It's going to be a very difficult one, because there hasn't been that many what people would consider advanced kits. Because normally what's been happening with the reviews as they've been going up is usually it tends to be mainly pod kits. And then the Friday or the Saturday is when I put up something a bit more advanced, which generally has been an AIO, at least over the past, 3 to 4 months, it's generally been an AIO. So it's going to be a tough one this year. It's going to be a tough one. What I might end up doing is, instead of doing a top 3 for each category, I'm just going to do my own personal pick for each category, with maybe an honourable mention for something else that popped up in that category. But it's going to be a tough one, folks. It's going to be a tough one. It really is. Also, the week between Christmas Day and New Year's Day, which is the 26th, Boxing Day here in the UK, up to Saturday the 30th, I'm taking that week off, which is what I normally do every year, the week between Christmas Day and New Year's Day. That way I can get the That Was the Year That Was video done and dusted, because I usually record that in that week. I usually record That Was the Week That Was in that week between Christmas Day and New Year's Day, and it also gives me a chance during that week off to basically start planning out ECig101 Season 4. And what I'm going to be doing with ECig101 Season 4 is kicking it off in January, probably midway through January. I was hoping to do it at the end of this month, but best of, that's about a week worth of planning out just having a look at all the videos that were popped up on the channel just over since December 15th last year to December. That's a long bit of planning that goes through the best of, and then there's the planning out for that was the year that was. So yeah, what I'm going to be doing with ECig101 season 4 is running through the block recordings of it on that week off between the 25th and the 31st, and that way when I start the actual final recording of the segments on the first week of January, the back recordings, the block recordings are already there on the hard drive, so it makes my life a little bit easier as we go into 2024 to actually do ECig101. What I can do though is give you a rundown of what the episode runs are going to be like for ECig101 season 4, because these are the notes that have popped up. Here we are here. It's not 15 episodes, it turns out it's going to be 16 episodes. Just making my fucking life harder and harder as I plan out this fucking final season, but this is what they're going to run out as. Block 1, which is the first block of 6 episodes. Episode 1, introduction to season 4, giving people the basics. This is for people that are joining from season 3, so they know what season 4 is going to be all about. Episode 2 is an introduction to rebuildables, the very basics of rebuildables. What are rebuildables? What bit is actually rebuildable? And what's the difference between a rebuildable and any common stock coil? So again, it's the basics, right? For all you people watching this that are already using rebuildables, you probably won't find anything new to look at. Or you might find 1 or 2 hints or tips, but you won't find anything really new to look at in Season 4 because, hey, you're already using rebuildables. The whole point in Season 4 is an introduction to squonkers, an introduction to mechs, an introduction to high wattage vaping, an introduction to rebuildables. That's the whole point of all of these seasons. It's basically for new vapors or new-ish vapors who are progressing in to that particular category. But yeah, episode 2, introduction to rebuildables. Episode 3, rebuildable tanks. Episode 4, rebuildable drippers. Episode 5, the coils. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with that one, but you need to throw a bit about coils in, like aliens, Claptons, fuse Claptons, the differences between them all, what it all means, that kind of thing. Episode 6, and the last episode of that block, the pitfalls of RTAs and RBAs. In other words, what's the niggling problems that you come across with rebuildable tanks or rebuildable atomizers, that kind of thing. That's the first block ended. Second block, we go into the mod part of things. Episode 7, borrow devices. And that basically covers everything to do with borrow devices. Episode 8, all about squonkers. Episode 9, high power mods. So we're looking at potentiometer based mods, ClickFET or MOSFET based mods. Some of the higher wattage mods that are out there. There's a few that I've got up in the shelf up there actually. Episode 11, looking after mods. Basic care and maintenance, that kind of thing. That's the block 2 ended. Block 3 is the final run of episodes. Episode 12, intro to mechs, the basics about mechanical devices. Episode 13, mechanical devices. This is after the introduction. Tear down an explanation, basically how mechs actually work, that kind of thing. Episode 14, care of mechs. So tube mods, how do you clean them? How do you look after them? In fact, any fucking mech, coming to think of it, how do you clean them? How do you look after them? Episode 15, all about batteries part 2. Episode 16 is the wrap up, the final episode of that run. So you're looking at 16 episodes. That's an episode a week. So that's going to last into the end of April. Like midway to the end of April. It's going to take us into spring of 2024, and after the final episode of season 4 of ECig101 goes up, that's the main series done. That's it done. What I might end up doing is many seasons after that for something that pops up into my head. Maybe 1 or 2, well, not 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 episodes for a mini season that comes up. But that's it. Once season 4's wrapped, going into spring of 2024. That's it. ECig101 is finally done and dusted. It's been a long time coming, because if you think of what ECig101 actually represents, season 1 was all about starter kits, beginner vapors, what is vaping, what's in an e-liquid, how to vape, essentially. That ran for what, 10 episodes? Season 2 was all about advanced vaping, which is stock coil sub-ohm tank kits like this. What's the difference between a stock coil sub-ohm tank, direct to lung vaping versus mouth to lung vaping, high wattage for that segment vaping, teardown of stock coil sub-ohm tank coils. Season 3 jumped into the e-liquid realm, which is where we went to go and visit Chem Novatic over in Poland last year. And now season 4 is all about the rebuildable side of things. So a new vapor who's coming into season 1 right now can basically look at all the seasons, shut up phone, can basically look at all the seasons back to back in one long run, and by the end of season 4 they'll know all about pods, all about stock coil sub-ohm tanks, all about external batteries, and they'll even know a little bit about rebuildables. And that's the whole point of these. Okay, hold on. I think it was 10 episodes in season 1. 10 episodes in season 1. 11 episodes in season 2, that's 21. 7 episodes in season 3, that's 28. So that's 28, plus the 16 episodes that are... That's like what? Just under 40 episodes. From beginning, opening up a pod kit, essentially, to the end. Vaping on a rebuildable tank. I don't think any other reviewer out there has done something like that in the e-cig world to do with vaping. I don't think any other reviewer's done that. Now, that's one of the reasons that I actually decided to do it in the first place. It's essentially 4 seasons worth of content for people to look at as they're dipping their toe into vaping, and then they've got another run of three seasons after season 1 to basically carry them through advanced vaping with your dual battery Geek Vape mod with your stock coil Zeus tank on top. Season 3, which runs into e-liquid, how to mix your own e-liquid as well, and then into season 4, which is going to be launching next year. Season 4 is going to be the bastard, by the way. Just thought I'd say that. It's going to be a fucking nightmare recording that one. Utter nightmare recording that one. But it has to be done because it's the final season. It's all about these big rebuildable tanks, rebuildable drippers, squonkers, mechs, borrow tank devices. Cover the whole lot in that final season, but it's going to be a fucking nightmare to record. It's going to be a royal fucking nightmare to record. Yeah. I know what I'm doing for the first block, which is episode 1 to episode 6, because that's all about rebuildables, rebuildable tanks, rebuildable drippers, that kind of thing. The 2 blocks that come after that, though, is going to be a nightmare. I'm only halfway through planning them. But the good thing is, because I'm running this an episode a week, rather than doing it 2 episodes a week, which is the mistake that I did with season 1 and season 2, season 4, I can relax a little bit between the episodes going up and between the blocks being recorded, because the way that I'm going to be doing this is very similar to the way that season 2 was done. So in other words, that block, like block 1, block 2 and block 3, they're all going to be recorded like that group of episodes. So episode 1 to episode 6, they're all going to be recorded in the space of about 2 days. 2 days for all 6 episodes. And that way, when I start episode 1 and episode 2's content is still fresh in my mind when I'm sitting down here the next day to record episode 6. Because the big mistake that I've done with season 1 is spread out the recording over a large space of time. Shouldn't have done that. I should have block recorded them. That's what I should have done. So that's the trick that I'm going to be doing for season 4. Block recording. So all the episodes' content is still fresh in my mind when I sit down for the final episode of that particular block. But it does mean there's going to be a lot of recording in a very short space of time. This is why I'm not looking forward to doing season 4. There's going to be a lot of recording. 16 fucking episodes. There's going to be a lot of recording for that one. And I think that basically covers it, folks. That basically covers it. So, yeah. Don't forget, ECig Click Awards, down there in the description. Again, before you click on it, go make a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, couple of chocolate biscuits. You're going to be sitting there for about 15 to 20 minutes, basically voting. And once again, there is quite a number of UK companies in there. Gaz, Artistack, for instance, in the innovation category. There is a number of UK companies in there. It would be good for UK companies to be voted into at least the top 3 of each category. You know, and again, like I said last week, these awards do mean something. They do mean something because China, who are very interested in specific country statistics, like Germany. What do vapors in Germany do? What do vapors in France do? What do vapors in the UK do? These polls at the end of the year, especially the ECig Click Award, is a snapshot, just a basic snapshot for that particular moment in time of what the general advanced or hobbyist, shut up phone, seriously, of what the general advanced hobbyist vapor in the UK is thinking at that particular moment in time when they're sitting there with their cup of tea or cup of coffee and chocolate biscuits, ticking who they want to choose for that category. It would surprise you the amount of deals that are done in the background off the back of the release of the final poll for ECig Click. It would surprise you. It would really surprise you. Some of the deals that go on during the May Expo are throwbacks to the results of the December ECig Click Award the previous year. And I've seen it actually happening firsthand at the May Expo for the UK Vapor Expo last year. Was it last year or the year before? I think it was last year. There was deals being made with e-liquid companies, e-liquid manufacturers here in the UK, where the company said, I remember your name being there in the top 3 or even the number 1 position for that particular poll section in the ECig Click Award. It does mean something. It definitely means something. And as usual, Vaping with Vic, YouTube section, YouTube/live. They shouldn't have mixed that in the same category. They really shouldn't have. But the YouTube live section, you'll see Vaping with Vic in there as well. Thank you very much. So yeah, I think that basically wraps it up, folks. No, it doesn't. One more thing to do. Fucking almost forgot about this. There is going to be the 2... Now, I don't know how I'm going to be running this. It's either... I think it's going to be the 8th and the 15th. Is it? I can't remember the 2 dates that I said. 15th and 22nd? I think it might be the 15th and 22nd. But there's going to be 2 UK vape shows that's going to have 5 boxaways in each. I'm not going to cram in 10 boxaways in the one show. That's going to be a fucking nightmare if I did that. But there's going to be 2 UK vape shows that's going to have 5 boxaways in each of the shows. And I think it's going to be the 15th and 22nd. No, sorry, not the 15th and 22nd. That's a Friday. The 14th and 21st. I'm sure I said the 14th and 21st. Did I? Okay, you know what? I'm announcing it now. It's the 14th and 21st. There we go. That's when we're going to do the five boxaways for each show. So a total of 10 boxaways. That way there's not going to be 10 boxaways in the one show and we're going to be rushed off our feet trying to give them all away. So that's what we're going to be doing for the UK Vape Show for the 14th and the 21st. And because I'm taking the week off from the 26th to the 30th, there's going to be no UK Vape Show on the 28th. And the show's going to return on the first Thursday coming back after New Year in January. And that's the way that's going to run. And I think that is actually it. Yeah, I think it is. Anyway, that's it for me, folks. As always, thanks for watching and have a good one.